Hey, Arcturus here. Today, we're looking at the Skaven Warpspark weapon battery. This box builds one of three different types of model. Here I've gone for Ratling Guns, but you can also build Warpfire Throwers or Warpvolt Scourgers, depending on what you would like them to do on the field. So the Ratling Guns that I've built have a 15-inch range. They each make 3d6 attacks, hit and wound on 4s with 1 rend and 1 damage, and on crits, they deal 2 hits. The Warpfire Throwers, on the other hand, have a shorter range of 10 inches. They make 2d6 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, with 2 rend and 1 damage, and they can shoot in combat. And the Warpvolt Scourgers have a 15-inch range, with 2d6 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, with 1 rend and 1 damage. The Warpvolt Scourgers, however, have a anti-cavalry plus 1 rend, and a crit of 2 hits, much like the Ratling Guns. All three teams have the Hidden Weapon Team passive, which lets them be invisible to units that are more than 13 inches away, provided they are within combat range of a friendly clan rat units with 5 or more models, and there is no other weapon team units that are within combat range of your friendly unit. So essentially, if you have one unit of these next to a unit of clan rats, as long as there's 5 or more clan rats, this weapon team unit would be invisible to enemies outside of 13 inches. So you do get a few extra bits. So here we have some bits for the Warpvolt Scourger, and part of the Warpfire Thrower, you get a few extra heads. There are not a ton of options on the sprue. So these are like Warpvolt Scourger bits as well. Not a ton of options on the sprue. Really, you have very limited options with these models. So with this particular model, you have this rat here on the back. So here you can replace this top piece with a few different pieces. It just hooks in by a pin, very small, and then has some piping there on the end, very difficult to see, and because it's a small piece. That would just replace this domed, that would replace this dome section here. The Ratling Gunners have a few different head options, and you can, of course, change out the gun. Now, on this particular model, you can also change out the secondary rat for a rat with a wheelbarrow. You can't actually build an extra one. You could swap him with this and then build this rat separately. You may be able to, with some kit bashing, attach a gun here instead, and then build up a few extra teams. The problem with that would be you have they'd all be the same pose, and that may not be as big of a problem, but it would have to be kit bashed to do that. So really, you only get one extra rat here that you could use as basing on something else if you wished. Here's one of the other teams. So this one has a knife and a gun, and it might have been better not to put these guys on the base, but they have to connect to each other. So you can see there that hose kind of goes from this rat to this rat's gun. So they do have to connect, and it's a little finicky to connect them, even just on the base here. And this one also connects there by that hose. You can kind of see how it runs between the two rats there going into the gun. Onto the back there. So it some finicky connection points on these. I connected them onto the base, so I glued down one rat and then attached the other one. It might have been better to attach them together and then glued them on the base. I'm not sure if that would have been better. I did do them separately. The instructions were a little it's kind of, you could read it either way, really. So this is kind of one of the connections, or you could kind of attach as you wish on some of these. It's not, it's kind of one-step attachment there. It might be better to do one than the other. Here's with some of those extra bits there. So nice little kit. Just have the Ratling Guns. I only picked up one kit of these, and since they do come in units of 3 now, I did not make one of each. In older editions, I believe you could take them in units of up to 3. So that was more of what people would do in older editions. So that's the Warpspark weapon battery. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next week with another video.